So welcome to the new little setup back here. Lighting, desk, backboard, lights, the whole YouTube look. Does that make it better? Will you subscribe now, please? All right, today we're looking at a dash cam. If you stumbled along and did a search for dash cams, this is what this is about. It's gonna be a pretty extensive look at a product when it comes to a dash cam. This is the 70 MAI dash cam M500, which is new, just released recently. Make sure you get the right firmware for it after you receive the product, and then it will work a lot better. So why am I watching a review on a dash cam? What makes a dash cam better than others? Well, I've had a dash cam, a Uniden, and different brands for a little while. Now, I'm not a Uber driver or something like that where you really need to have a dash cam. Dash cams are kind of new in the US. They're more prevalent overseas, been used for a long time. I've been in an accident before, like a lot of folks. They don't go too much on word of mouth anymore. They really want to see video evidence of the accident or whatever happened to prove your point. In today's world, not too many folks are truly honest anymore, so they're not going to pretty much give up they were at fault. So they're pretty much going to have to rely on either good evidence from the crime scene, or if there is a crime scene, if it's a major accident like that, or if it's just a fender bender where you're going to exchange information. And it's all good when you exchange information, but when you get back, he or she has said something completely different to the insurance adjuster about what happened, and now you're trying to prove that you were not at fault. That's all about dash cams. So if you already know all that, fine. I'm not going to talk about that anymore. What makes one better than the others? Well, when I first think of like a better quality dash cam, I want to be able to read the license plate later on if I have to gain it for evidence. So if something happened in front of me and the guy took off like a hit and run, I want to be able to zoom in and capture that license plate so I can get the tag to give to the police so they can run it and try to hopefully find the person. If it's a not so great quality dash cam, then you're basically going to be out of luck. You can try to look at a blurry image, you try to figure out what the numbers are, and it's not going to work out. So that's my main test, because I don't know yet with this camera. My main test to see if I can pull a good license plate from this, from a decent distance. I don't expect great things, but from a decent distance, can I pull that? All right, so this is again, the 70 MAI dash cam, the M500 they're calling it. It's a new one that's got released. Make sure you download the right firmware for it, or the new firmware for it if you receive this camera, if you decide to buy it. Links will be down below. This is a 64 gigabyte dash cam. So when I say that, that means I don't have to buy an SD card. Bingo. Another less expense. So it's got internal storage on this guy. You don't have to worry about buying an SD card. You don't have to worry about that SD card going bad, because like we all have SD cards for our smart cameras and stuff like that. Smart cameras? For our action cameras and big cameras, and they all tend to work fine because you use them, you format them, you use them, and they don't get used that often. But a dash cam SD card is on all the time. It's being overwritten and run every time you drive that car. So it can fail, and it will fail eventually over time. So having internal memory is a great thing to have. So let's go on with some of the specs on this one. Makes it different than others. So it's got 1944 on the resolution side and HDR video. HDR video always kind of makes me wonder what it's going to look like, because it's like, it's got HDR. You look at it and you're like, oh my God. So we'll see what that looks like. 170 degree view. So it's a pretty wide view you have of the roadway. The aperture on this camera is 2.0, so it should be a lot better at night. It's got 24-hour parking surveillance with a caveat. They sent me the hardware kit, so I have to hardwire this to my fuse box to give it power when the car is no longer on. So obviously, it's not going to work if it doesn't have power when you're basically parked overnight. So it needs to draw power from the battery overnight, just a little bit of power, to be able to, if something happens, it can start recording, kind of thing. All right, so it has that, but you have to buy that separately. It also has tire pressure monitoring capability, so if you're you can set this up to be allowed to read the indicator from your tires of what your pressure is. So I'm going to do this all with my Toyota 4Runner. It's a 2018 4Runner. It doesn't have, it has like a tire pressure, but it never shows me the, is that right? I have to double check on it. I don't think it tells me the exact number of my pressure in my 4Runner. I'll get back to you on that one. I'll put it down below, whatever. But I'm going to try it with the 4Runner to get that set up. So this also has time-lapse recording. So you can do a time-lapse recording and then shrink that 30 minutes down of video into like, what, 1 minute? Yeah, the 30 minutes can be like down to 1 minute. So basically it speeds up your process for reviewing the footage. We're definitely going to try that, see how it works out in the real world, not just on what they tell you it's going to happen. It's got advanced driver assistant system. So this could be very annoying or it could be very cool. So it's going to have that front look, right? So the camera's out there looking, and if you get like a forward collision or immediate stop, it's going to give you an audible warning. Even if the traffic is moving, but not moving as fast as you are. Once it sees the distance closing rapidly, or whatever they say is too rapid, it's going to give you that warning. So it could be a great thing to help you out, or it could get annoying. So we got to try that one out, see if it's not reacting too much. It also has lane departure warning, so if you're departing a lane, it'll give you a warning. Now, most time with cars, that works off your blinker. So if you're using your blinker and you change lanes, obviously it's not going to tell you warning about lane departure because you're trying to change lanes. So my question is, how would this guy know that my blinker is on and changing lane? Will you say it all the time? I don't know. We'll find out. So it has, again, it has GPS. It also has GLONASS, positioning. Basically, it's going to be a trip, like it can track your route. So it can track from where you went from here, where you went from here, and track the route you took on the streets, and also track your speed. So this might be good for the kids. If you have a teenager learning how to drive and they go off on their own and you want to see how things go, you can secretly look back at the review and see where they went and see how fast they were going. I would hate this if I was a teenager. So again, tire pressure monitoring. Your car already has to have it. Otherwise, you have to buy the little knobs, little Bluetooth knobs that will screw into your tires to be able to pick up that. So if that's something that you need, you want to know the tire pressure all the time, this guy supposedly will be able to read that for you and display it on the app. Of course, there's no screen, so it's to display it on the app. So the camera also has voice commands. So you can say, take a photo, start recording a video, stop recording a video. So it has those commands, so we'll play with that too to see if it works, if it's more of a pain than what it is. Of course, it has an application, and we'll play with that. You can review the footage right then and there, because that's important, because if you get involved in an accident, you want to show the police officer pretty much right away kind of like what happened. So that way you can download the footage right from the camera as you're sitting in the car onto your phone. By the time they get there, you can have the video already in hand showing them what happened. So you don't have to try to explain everything and then say, I'll send you the video, that kind of stuff. You can have it right there, and he may or she may actually record it from their phone real quickly to get a copy of that. Or let's say you can email it. I'm sure you'll be able to email the file to them from the scene. So I'll definitely will try that. All right, so that's kind of like, see if I missed anything. GPS. So let's see what it looks like real quick. And you just want to see the footage. I know but I wanted to show you my new studio. So boom. All right, what do we got? Looks like paperwork on top. Big file of paperwork. Here's the camera itself. It's got a power button right here, USB-C connection right here. All right, inside the box we have a long, so you don't have to hardwire this at all. You can give you a very long cord to stuff around the top visor area down to the USB-C, right, into your cigarette lighter. And it also gives you a little USB cigarette lighter to plug into somewhere in your car, and it gives you two. One so replaces the one it took from you. And oh, the mounting bracket. So let's look at the mounting bracket. So I have an adhesive part here. It's going to go pretty much on my windshield. And it has little arrows of which way to put it in. So there we go, something like that. I got my RX-0 today, guys. So I got my RX-0 Mark II today. If you watch my channel, you know I've been waiting for this little guy. So we're doing a side shot with that, focused on near. So we'll kind of give you another look at what that looks like. So it also has a cutout for the USB-C at the bottom. That's of course where it's going to go when it's mounted to the top. So that's it. It's real small. So it's going to be not pretty much. It'll kind of be hidden. It'll kind of move out of your way once you install it into the car, and you won't have to worry about it at that point. And again, you really do forget about these things in your car, especially if you hardwire it, something like that. It's going to be on, and you're not going to even think about it anymore. What I do like about this one versus some of the other ones, all my other ones have that little like swivel up top, so you can kind of adjust it. They always become loose, and my wife will knock it with the visor and it's pointing straight up like this, or it's pointing straight down like that, and it just stays that way. So if nothing ever happens, we missed it. So I like how this is pretty much set high up on your screen, high up on your windshield, about right here. Then you're going to forget about it. Set it and you'll forget it, and then if something ever happens, it's there for you. So without further ado, let's get out there, take some footage. We're going to watch that, we'll talk about it, and then we're also going to look at some footage from my older Uniden, is that right? Dash cam to show what that looks like, the difference of the two. Or maybe a little RX-0 Mark II. Hey, you want to help us out and do some footage? Not really good for that. It's not. Maybe how about the DJI Action 2? We'll put that mount that's pretty easy to mount up. I'll mount that up and we'll do a little bit of footage of that, and we'll compare DJI, which is built for good image quality, to an older action camera to this guy. And if the Action 2 and these guys are fairly close, hope not too close, hope it doesn't beat my Action 2, then we're rocking here. So let's go.